A new Mario RPG is coming in 2026, and I have proof. Before I get to that though, be sure to subscribe. So anyway, you may be saying, what is the proof? Like, there's nothing that Nintendo has said, there's no leaks or anything. But there's something that goes back years that pretty much confirms Nintendo will make some sort of Mario RPG this year, whether it's a remake, remaster, or a brand new game. So I'm not going to wait till the end of the video to go over that, I'm going to say it right here. It is the release schedule of the Mario RPGs. There's not been one time in the past decade and a half or so where Nintendo has went more than 2 years without releasing a Mario RPG. And don't believe me? Let's go over all of them. 2024, we got Brothership and the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake. In 23, we got Super Mario RPG. 22, we got Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. In 2020, Origami King. 2018, the Bowser's Inside Story remake. 2017, we got both Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga remake and Mario plus Rabbids. 2016, Color Splash. 2015, Puzzles and Dragons and Paper Jam. 2013 Dream Team, 2012 Sticker Star, and then going back there, this is the only time since the early 2000s where there was more than 2 years without a new Mario RPG. You got to go back to 2009, which is obviously 3 years, where we got Bowser's Inside Story. 2 years before that, in 2007, Super Paper Mario, Partners in Time 2005, Thousand Year Door in 2004. 2003, we got Superstar Saga, and before that, it was 2000 Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG. So since 2000, there has only been 2 times where Nintendo has not released a new Mario RPG within a 2-year span, except twice, and it was 3 years both those times. So if we think that Nintendo is going to keep this streak going, that's been going since Sticker Star back in 2012, so it's going to be going on 14 years next year, it all points to Nintendo make a new Mario RPG for the Switch 2, and there's a lot they can do. So the Thousand Year Door remake opened up more possibilities for Paper Mario remake, so I think obviously the most realistic is the original Paper Mario. I think Super Paper Mario, while I personally would love it, I don't think that needs a full remake. I think even if they remastered it or just ported it to the Switch, that would be fine. But the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake seemed to do pretty well, so I wouldn't be surprised if they remade the original. Yes, it is on Nintendo 64 on Switch Online, but the game definitely has shown its age a little bit. Like, I think it has aged well, but I definitely think that it could benefit from a remake as long as that doesn't take away from a new Paper Mario. Sticker Star and Color Splash, I think you're probably out of luck if you want those ported to the Switch, at least for now. For the Mario and Luigi series, I don't think they're going to do Partners in Time just because they already skipped over it. They don't have any Mario RPG. They don't have any Mario and Luigi game on the Switch except obviously Brothership and Superstar Saga, since that was on the GBA. So all the DS titles, the 3DS titles, they're not on here. So I think maybe they can make like a collection of some sort, because the Mario and Luigi games on 3DS, the remasters I should say, sold horribly. Like, Superstar Saga sold bad, but Bowser's Inside Story on the 3DS was legitimately one of the worst selling Mario games ever made. So I don't know if they want to put all those resources into it, but just making a simple port, getting these games on a much more used system, because by the time Bowser's Inside Story released on the 3DS, it was 2 years after the Switch came out. So if they just ported the Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story remakes and obviously just gave it a new coat of paint, like, that would be a game that could sell pretty decently well. I don't think it would be one of the biggest games of the year for Nintendo or anything, but would be a game that would be fairly easy to make and get more games on the Switch. So I think those are the possibilities for a remake, which I think is a little more likely, because I don't think we're getting a new Mario and Luigi game. It would only be 2 years because we got Brothership in late 2024, so I highly doubt we get a new Mario and Luigi game. For Paper Mario, I've talked about this a lot. It depends how you want to look at it. So you could say we got Thousand Year Door in 2024, and that means we're not getting another Paper Mario game for a few years. And potentially, I don't know if it was the same team that worked on that, because Intelligent Systems is the developer of Paper Mario. I forgot if they developed the remake, so I don't know. Like, that's all speculation. Intelligent Systems also makes Fire Emblem, but there's been times where they've made Paper Mario and Fire Emblem games in the same year, I believe. I think a Super Mario RPG 2 is a possibility. Like, I would have said absolutely not a few years ago, but we got that really great remake back in 2023, and it was a success. Like, both critically and commercially, I believe it sold well. And this is the only Mario RPG besides actually, there's one I forgot when I was listing off the Mario RPGs in 2015. I think I might have forgot to say the Puzzles and Dragons game. Or, maybe I did say that, but that's the only true, like, Mario RPG that has not gotten a sequel, because obviously Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi, even Mario plus Rabbids got a sequel. So this is the lone Mario RPG without a sequel, and now we know exactly how it would look. Like, I'm sure it would keep the same art style if they did that. They could greatly expand upon it because the original was on the SNES and limited by that. So now they'd be building a game from the ground up for the Switch 2. Like, there's just so much more they could do. Like, I'd love to see what they do with a Mario RPG 2, because it's a very different style. Like, it's not like Mario and Luigi, it's not like Paper Mario. There's obviously a lot of similarities, like both those series took inspiration from it, but it is definitely its own distinct style, and I would love to see it come back as a new game. Then for the Mario plus Rabbids series, it's the last series I've not talked about. The last one we got is going to be 4 years old in 2026, and it's around the same time between Sparks of Hope and Kingdom Battle, it was 5 years, is going to be 4 years. And those games sold surprisingly well. Like Kingdom Battle sold around like 10 million copies. I think Sparks of Hope sold between 3 and 4 million. So that's very solid. Like that's a very good selling game for what it is. I would not be shocked if they made a third game in the series. Like there clearly is a market for it. The games have gotten very good reception. Like I think Sparks of Hope was a better game, so I think they could only improve from where they're going. So that's a lot of the possibilities. I mean, maybe they make a whole new Mario RPG series. I don't think that would happen next year, but who knows? But there's a lot they can do, especially with it being the new system. Like if we also want to take a look at Mario RPGs on their respective systems, like or the first year or two. So if we go back to the Switch, obviously Kingdom Battle in 2017. We got Sticker Star in 2012, so that was the second year of the 3DS. For the DS, we got Partners in Time in 2005, the year after. Same for the Wii, we got Super Paper Mario in 2007, which was a year after, or less than a year after from when it released, technically. And then Thousand Year Door, that was a few years after the GameCube. And that's the same with Paper Mario 64 and Super Mario RPG. Those came out towards the end of those systems' lives, but those came out towards the end of the system's life cycle, but that was also 25 years ago now, even over that. Almost 30 years ago now for Super Mario RPG. Like the only modern Nintendo console that has not had a Mario RPG release within the first like year or two has been the Wii U. So that's another trend I think will continue. Because Mario RPGs, like there's a lot of fans of these games and Nintendo knows that, and even if the games aren't the best, they do consistently make them. Like that's why we have not gone more than 2 years without a Mario RPG since the turn of the decade from 2009 2012. That's the only 3-year span. So that's pretty much my proof that we're going to get a Mario RPG in 2026. Now, I could talk a lot about my ideas for it. Do I think it's going to be a return to form Paper Mario? Do I think it's going to be a remake? Do I think it's going to be a port? Like, I don't know. I don't think they would straight up port like I talked about. Like, I don't think it would be a port of just the 3DS games. I think if anything they would do, like just a redo, like maybe a new remake of Superstar Saga or something, or Bowser's Inside Story on a system that could actually sell it. Because if Bowser's Inside Story, like that remake came out on the Switch in 2019, it easily is selling a couple million copies at least, if not more. Because the Switch was incredibly popular, obviously. And in 2019, the 3DS was not incredibly popular. It was 2 years past when people were really buying games for it, and it was just a dumb decision and it killed Alpha Dream. So I would hope Nintendo wouldn't just look at it and be like, this remake didn't do well, so we're never going to do it again, because there is a lot to love. Like personally, I just prefer the charm of the original, but I also want more people to get into this series, and a remake is a good way to do that. So if it was up to me, if Nintendo asked me, what do you want to be remade in the Mario and Luigi series, I would say Partners in Time, because I think that game could definitely use one, and it was the one that was skipped over. But the reason they didn't do that is just because it's not as critically or commercially successful as the other two games in the first trilogy. Dream Team, like Nintendo has barely remade any 3DS games. The only ones I can think of are like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Miitopia. There may be others, but those are like the big two I can think of. So they haven't really done much with that. But Dream Team is gonna be 13 years old next year, so it's not a new game anymore. And that's the only system you could play it on. The 3DS is the only system you could play Dream Team on, and it did sell well. So who knows? Maybe we get that. But again, it's all speculation. We don't really know much about what Nintendo is doing in 2026. Like we know Fire Emblem, Tomodachi Life, some Switch 2 editions, Splatoon Raiders. Like their biggest game right now, I guess, is probably Fire Emblem. And I forgot the new Yoshi and the new Mario Sports game. But none of those are like big games, like big system seller games, except maybe Fire Emblem, depending on who you ask. And Mario RPGs are not going to be system sellers for everyone. Like they are more niche than like a regular Mario game, like a regular even 2D Mario game. But there are still big audiences for these games. And I'd be very, very shocked if Nintendo broke the streak and just did not release a game in 2026. So let me know your thoughts on that. What do you think we're going to see? What do you think the game is going to be like? And yeah, 2026, like we're almost there now. It's going to be 10 years since Paper Mario Color Splash came out. Like remember that whole debacle with that when that was first announced? That was a decade ago now, or almost a decade ago now. Like just this past week, Paper Jam turned 10 years old, and that really hit me because when I started this channel all the way back in November of 2015, that was like the first game I was really covering on the channel. Like I made some videos about it. They're long gone now. I got the pre-order bonus with like the paper craft, which unfortunately I don't think I still have. I wish I did. But that was like one of the first games I was covering like as it was coming out. So even though I don't really like Paper Jam that much, like you might have seen my Mario RPG ranking, I still have a lot of nostalgia for that time. Partners in Time recently turned 20 years old. Super Paper Mario is turning 20 in 2027. I guess it's just crazy to believe. But anyway, nostalgia aside, be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Like I make a lot of Mario RPG content. You could watch some videos here if you want to see more of my Mario RPG content. I cover other Nintendo games as well. Like I have 1,100 videos on this channel. There'll be something you enjoy. And also like the video if you think my reasoning made sense for why you think 2026 will have a Mario RPG, and dislike if you thought that it made no sense. This has been Domain with Game Domain. Thank you for watching,